Ryan woke up at 9 on the dot, the same way he did every Saturday when he didn't have to drag himself to the warehouse. The ceiling fan spun lazy circles above the bed, and for a minute he let his brain float, enjoying the fact that nobody expected anything from him for the next 12 hours. Then a faint rustle drifted in from the kitchen, metal on ceramic, maybe, or the soft scrape of a chair, followed by Megan's barely there whisper. She was on the phone again, voice as thin as fishing line, sentences clipped short like she was terrified the words might grow wings and fly back to him. Brian's stomach tightened. That hush in her tone hadn't existed even 3 months earlier. They'd always been the kind of couple who left their phones face up, laughed about weird demons, teased each other about embarrassing group chat memes. They tag-teamed everything groceries, holiday lights, the kids' school projects. But since early spring, Megan had grown secret compartments, late nights at work, guarded glances at her screen, new passwords and locked file folders where there never used to be any. Ryan had tried shrugging it off. Big project season, right? Corporate America loves squeezing overtime out of young moms. Still, the queasy thought kept poking his ribs. You. No, she's lying, determined not to start the day like a noir detective. He yawned loud enough to rattle the picture frames, slipped into his oldest Ohio State sweatpants, and padded down the hall. The instant his foot hit the kitchen tile, Megan said a hurried gotta go and slid her phone into her hoodie pocket. He caught a flash of guilt on her face, gone before he could read it. Morning, she managed, halfway smiling. Morning, he answered, reaching for the electric kettle. Steam whooshed. The single-cup filter dripped dark Colombian roast into his favorite chipped muck. The kitchen smelled like nothing. No pancakes, no fresh bacon, no cinnamon rolls, like she used to bake when the boys were little. Megan scrolled. Instagram, thumbs jittering. Ryan took a sip and forced the hot coffee down, hoping it would burn the suspicion out of him. It didn't. The silence between them had gone from awkward to cavernous. He tried small talk, the forecast, the neighbors yapping beagle, whether they should finally book that Myrtle Beach rental for July. Megan answered with eyes glued to the glowing slab of glass. The boys, Ethan, 10, and Nick, 8, were still passed out, blissfully unaware their parents were tiptoeing around a live wire. Ryan's inner monologue ran at triple speed. If she's cheating, who's the guy? Someone from accounting? Her gym trainer? Why hasn't she just come clean? And does she really think I'm that clueless? The questions pinballed until he felt dizzy. He needed proof or peace, preferably both. Nights later, while Megan took a long shower and Billie Eilish echo boomed off the tile, Ryan grabbed her old backup phone from the junk drawer. It was 6 years out of date, but he hoped the thing might still sync to her cloud. He powered it up, hacked the default password, and watched as photos and messages trickled in. Family beach pics, PDA reminders, the usual. Nothing juicy. Yet. Ryan's heart jumped when a chat labeled J appeared in the message list. He tapped. The thread was new, barely a dozen texts, but the subtext screamed louder than fireworks. Miss you already? Lunch tomorrow? Same spot. Can't wait until it's official. His. Vision tunneled. There it was, black on silver. Megan had a backup plan that didn't include him. He almost stormed into the bathroom, but rage froze into something colder, harder. Barging in would start a shouting match, maybe wake the boys, maybe scare them forever. Ryan prided himself on being the level-headed guy, the one who kept forklifts running and budgets balanced out fine. He told himself, be the Iceman. Do it right. Phase 1 was intel. He researched Minicums, bought a pair of button-sized 4K units on Amazon Prime, and set them up the following Friday when Megan thought he was helping a buddy move couches. One camera peeked through a hollow book on the piano. Another hid behind the cereal boxes above the fridge. DVR software funneled all footage to an encrypted folder on his laptop. Next, he installed a dash tracker app on the minivan's infotainment screen, an innocent car diagnostic tool, he told her with a grin. She'd never noticed it pinging GPS coordinates to his phone. Phase 2 was legal. Ryan called Camille Ortiz, an old classmate who'd become a bulldog divorce attorney in Dayton. Camille's voice carried both empathy and steel. Gather everything, screenshots, bank statements, camera footage. Whatever shows dissipation of marital assets or adultery. The cleaner your evidence, the smoother your exit. They met after hours at her office, so no nosy neighbors would see them. Camille served him black tea and spelled out Ohio's equitable distribution maze in plain English. If she's moving money, stop the bleed. If anything's still joint, separate it today. Ryan spent the next week after the boys' bedtime combing their finances. Megan handled the everyday bills, but he oversaw savings and investments. He found a new checking account she'd opened under her maiden name. Barely $1,000 in it, but the pattern of tiny, regular deposits stung. She was stockpiling escape money. He shut down auto transfers from their primary account, updated online passwords, and shifted half their emergency fund to a credit union account only he could touch. At home, he acted sweeter than syrup. He pretended to binge romantic comedies with her, rubbed her shoulders, cooked her favorite spicy shrimp tacos. Megan melted into the attention, thinking, Ryan guessed, that her secret life was invisible. She didn't know two hidden lenses watched her late-night FaceTimes, cataloging every "I love you." Jason, she breathed into the dark. Then Thursday happened. Ryan told her he had to drive to Columbus for an urgent supply chain meeting and wouldn't be back until late. Megan kissed him goodbye without a second of hesitation, practically buoyant. He took the interstate 2 exits, doubled back on a parallel service road, parked beside a soybean field, and live-streamed the kitchen cam to his phone at 7:14 p.m. A man in a red North Face jacket rang the doorbell. Megan flew into his arms so fast Ryan's throat closed. They split a bottle of Pinot, giggled over takeout sushi, and disappeared down the hall. The master bedroom camera had been a step too far for Ryan's conscience, but imagining the rest was torture enough. By midnight, he was pacing the soybean rows, crisp spring air slicing at his cheeks while he debated smashing the guy's windshield with a tire iron. Instead, he drove home. After Red Jacket left, crept into the silent house, and crawled beneath. The covers. Megan stirred, sighed contentedly, and settled back to sleep. Ryan's heartbeat drummed till sunrise. Phase 3, the counterstrike. He booked a sitter, arranged a Saturday play date for the boys, and met Camille with a thumb drive of high-def betrayal. She whistled under her breath. This is Open Ancha Re. We can push for fault-based divorce, seek primary custody, and you'll keep at least 70% of the marital estate, especially with her secret account in the mix. Camille drafted the packet that afternoon: petition, asset inventory, proposed parenting plan. Ryan read the papers twice, picturing Ethan's science fair ribbon and Nick's Lego Millennium Falcon perched on his future apartment windowsill. A pang cut through his resolve. Divorce wasn't just storm clouds over him and Megan, it was lightning, splitting their kids' world. But staying in alive felt like teaching his boys that duplicity was normal. He signed. He didn't serve her immediately. First, he locked down everything else, transferred the title of the minivan to his sister Beth, refinanced the mortgage solely in his name through a bridge loan, redirected his paycheck to the new credit union. He even downloaded 6 months of utility statements to prove he'd handled household expenses alone. Each move was both shield and sword. Finally, Tuesday night arrived, the night the marriage would breathe its last. Ryan came home an hour early, the packet in a manila envelope under his arm. Megan was sautéing zucchini, humming. The boys were upstairs arguing about Minecraft skins. Ryan's pulse measured each footstep, but his voice came out steady. "Can we talk?" he asked, setting the envelope on the granite island. "Sure, babe. What's up?" She wiped her hands on a dish towel, smiling like this was Tuesday date night and not Judgment Day. He opened the envelope, slid the papers toward her. The humming stopped. She read the header. "In the Court of Common Pleas of Montgomery County, Ohio," and jolted as if the granite turned livewire hot. "Ryan, what is this?" Her voice cracked. "It's the truth," he said. "I know about Jason Dot. I know about the new checking account. I know you're planning to move out once the bonus hits." Her lips trembled. She tried denial, then tears, then anger, an entire circus of explanations in under 2 minutes. Ryan let her perform every act. When she fell silent, he spoke. "Daughter, kids deserve real honesty. You want a new start? Fine, but you'll do it without sabotaging our finances and without yanking Ethan and Nick around like baggage." Megan's knees buckled. She caught the counter. "Please, we can fix this. Therapy, whatever you want." "There's no fixing secrets this deep," he said, barely above a whisper. "I'll move to Mom's for now. We'll rotate the boys week on, week off. Camille will call your lawyer in the morning." He gathered a duffel, a framed photo of the kids at Disney, and a laptop. He almost pocketed his wedding ring, but left it on the hall table. Symbolic, maybe, or just too heavy to carry another step. When the front door clicked shut, Megan slid to the floor, clutching the envelope like it could turn back time. Ryan's mom lived 20 minutes away, a farmhouse smelling of lavender and coffee. She greeted him with open arms and a worn quilt. He finally let himself cry, muffled by the fabric that once tucked him in at 8 years old. Next morning, he brewed eggs and pancakes for Ethan and Nick in Grandma's kitchen, explaining in gentle sentences why he and Mom would be living in 2 places for a while. The boys' eyes watered, but their trust in Dad stayed solid. School runs, midnight fevers, lost soccer cleats. Ryan handled it all, leaning on Beth for carpal favors and Camille for legal medges. Megan stayed in the house, but her social feeds turned silent. Jason ghosted after learning legal papers existed. Rumor had it he requested a transfer to the company's Denver branch. Megan's late-night calls, too. Ryan swung from apology to accusation and back. He kept conversations short, always steering toward kid logistics. In court mediation, she tried angling for shared primary custody and half the assets. Camille unveiled the parade of evidence. Meg's lawyer advised settlement within 10 minutes. They finalized. Ryan kept the house, both cars, and 2/3 of retirement funds. Megan walked with her checking balance, some furniture, and a slice of future 401k contributions. She rented a 2-bedroom near the boys' school so transitions would hurt less. Months crept into a year. Ryan repainted the living room a confident sky blue, planted raised bed tomatoes with Ethan, built a backyard treehouse that Nick bragged about to every classmate. Nightmares faded. One October morning at the PTO pumpkin sale, he met Allison Thomas, the new 5th-grade teacher. She laughed at his dad jokes, admired the tomato crop photos on his phone, and accepted his offer for coffee. They started slow. Ryan demanded slow, but each date stitched a new patch over the ragged tear in his heart. Megan showed up at therapy, worked on herself, sent cautious texts thanking Ryan for co-parenting kindness. Gossip said she dated a couple of guys, but nothing stuck. She cried at Christmas break when Ethan chose Dad's house for the morning of presents. Ryan invited her over after lunch so the boys could share the tree twice. There was awkward yet civil progress in small ledger lines. On a breezy May evening, Ryan sat on the porch swing with Allison, watching lightning bugs ignite the yard. The boys played chase through the dusk, laughter sailing between maple trees. Ryan squeezed Allison's hand. Never thought life could feel light, he confessed. She kissed his cheek and said, "Some doors slam so others can swing open." Across town, Megan leaned on her apartment balcony railing, sipping Chardonnay from a paper cup, and wondered when the ache would stop echoing. She scrolled through photos of Ryan and the boys at Cedar Point, their faces sunburned and fearless atop the roller coaster. Megan wiped tears, realizing too late that the life she'd viewed as stale and ordinary had actually been safe and golden. She'd traded it for a mirage that vanished before she'd even grasped it. Ryan, unaware of her regrets, tucked the kids into bed, texted Allison goodnight, and stared at the ceiling the way he had the morning. This all began. Only now the fans. Slow circles felt calming, a quiet heartbeat overhead instead of an omen. He had no idea what the next decade would bring: teen drama, career pivots, maybe new vows, but he trusted himself again. Truth had cost him a marriage, sure, but it had bought him something rarer: the unwavering knowledge that he could survive the dark and still walk toward whatever light waited beyond. And out in the dark silence of the neighborhood, another day. Peeled off the calendar. Ryan breathed steady, the boys slept sound, and the future, messy, unpredictable, but undeniably honest, waited just outside the window, humming like a lullaby on repeat.